people let fear consume them, and it will become a paralyzing emotion if you let it. And ultimately, it can and will dictate your life. And it's incredible how many people I know personally that give in to fear. Uh, like myself, I've done it throughout my life. And breaking away from it, the first step is understanding it's got a hold on you, because a lot of people don't like to admit it. And if you really want to rebuild your life and change it, which a lot of people do, one of the biggest steps is pushing through fear. And for me, it was very difficult to do. For instance, years ago, I worked for someone, and for 10 years, and I one day said, I'm done, I'm gonna go on my own. And I had no idea what was gonna happen. And it was scary, I was nervous, but it was one of the best things I did. You know, it ultimately has given me my autonomy, just completely shifted my life. This YouTube channel, I had been thinking about it for a long time. I have no idea where it's gonna go. And for a while, fear held me back. You know, what's gonna happen? Is it gonna get any views, or is it gonna go anywhere? And realistically, I have no clue. I still don't know. But I had to give it a shot. And it's incredible how difficult that can be. How tough it is, where fear will literally hold you back. It's amazing how, like when I say it's a paralyzing emotion, it is amazing how paralyzing it is. Because you just become trapped. Basically, you're a prisoner in your own mind. And that is so dangerous. So dangerous. Being comfortable. A couple friends I have, well, a few of them, they're all very comfortable where they are. And I know they want more in life. But they're too complacent. And I've talked to them a few times about it, and they can go in, get a check. They got job security. But they don't lead their life. And it's out of fear. I've heard them many times, well, this could happen. And when it comes down to it, it's fear. It is fear. The unknown. You feel safe, you feel comfortable, you're content. It's not what you want ultimately for your life. But I'm safe here. And it is really incredible how dangerous that is. Because if I had stayed comfortable my whole life, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I wouldn't live in my house. I wouldn't have any of my freedom that I do today. And, you know, you got to break out of that comfort zone. You have to be willing to just go for it and shoot your shot. Strength is forged through difficulty. You know, that's the only way you really grow. That's what builds the man. And I still go through it. You know, I still have fear still comes up from time to time. Even shooting these videos, you know, not necessarily fear in that aspect, but an unsureness, but fear does still come up with things. And it's a natural emotion, but when it gets to the point where it literally just shuts you down to where you will not try anything that's out of your comfort zone, then it's become too much. And I think it's really bad because it's that much harder to break free. And it's amazing how today in society, I mean, it's everywhere. There's fear all over the place. And when you think about it, what is fear? False evidence appearing real. And that's really what it is. I understand there are certain situations, but in reality, it's in your mind. It's that insecurity. What if this person thinks I'm dumb or thinks I'm stupid? What if these people don't like it? What if I look like a fool? What if it doesn't work out? What if you like just continuously have this perpetual thinking going in your mind? You're just constantly replaying over and over, and it paralyzes you. And you're like, oh, I'm good, you know? But the problem is when you get older and then you look back. When I look back, I got, a ton of regrets. A lot of, man, I wish I would have done that. And it's much better to have an oops, that didn't work, than a what if. What if I would have tried that? You know, it's like now for me, I know in another 10 years, I'm going to look back and say, man, I'm glad I tried that. If it didn't work, it didn't work, but I tried it. You don't want to wake up one day and look back and say, oh my God, why didn't I just give it a shot? Why didn't I just try that? Why didn't I go up to that girl and talk to her, or, you know, whatever it may be. Try going on my own. Biggest one I see is guys. I mean, for women too, but as a man, I'm looking at other men thinking, you know, try going on your own. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But just try it. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to just quit your job now and go for it, but get a plan and give it a shot. Because time is the fire in which every one of us burn. And it catches up to all of us. And no matter what, I don't care what anybody says, when time catches up with you, you look back and say, man, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have tried that. I wish I would have, you know. And the only thing that holds us back is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of people judging us, fear of what a person's gonna say, or like this, talking on camera, someone's gonna think I look stupid. Some insecurity you have that isn't even real. You're just playing it in your mind over and over and over. In reality, it doesn't matter. Who cares what anybody thinks? And the funny thing is, most people, a lot of people, they're gonna judge you anyways, even if you're doing great in life. They'd actually like to see you not try, because it makes them feel better about their self. And that's a lot of times why people will say things when you do try things. You know, so I don't, it's hard too. It's really hard. Really hard. But the more you allow it to control your life, the harder it gets. Like literally the harder it gets. For instance, like years ago, I remember I was in Cabela's and just shopping, buying a couple things, and I was at the register, and there was a really cute girl. Like instantly I was attracted to her. And I was in line, and there was a guy behind me, and I just asked her right there on the spot if I could get her phone number, and she shut me down, you know, really fast. I mean, first time she ever saw me, I didn't create any rapport with her or anything like that. And the guy, he actually started laughing behind me, but you know, I took my shot. You know, I would have walked out that door, and I'd have been like, man, I never would see her again. So whatever it is, you got to try. And I mean, in that aspect of talking with women, that it's kind of an ebb and flow. Some days you feel it, some days you don't. But in terms of everything else, to have the life that you want, like my life now, I love my life. I worked hard to get here, and I had to break through a lot of fear, 100%. You know, I was an alcoholic, dealt with a lot of depression. I lived with my parents, had my, you know, my head in the clouds. But then when I got sober, I pushed and kept going and kept going. And little by little, I kept just pushing through. And like I said before, you know, strength is forged through difficulty. And it's so true. You can feel yourself getting stronger. And some days are different. Some days you don't feel it. It's just one of those days. You know, you're not always going to be on. But you just keep going. Keep going. One step in front of the next one. And those little steps turn into miles eventually. And the truth is, you can't steal second base with your foot still on first. And, you know, when you think about that, it's the only way you're going to know is you got to give it a shot. You got to take your shot. So just keep pushing through, and fear. It's just false evidence appearing real. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.